Hi, this is Graphically Alex coming at you with all things fat related. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And today, we are going to be covering somebody who's against somebody trying to be skinny because it's evil. Bleh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Diet Culture Vampire today. I said it on my IG story. I was like, I'm going to be dressing up as this tonight because I'm full blown. And I don't know if this person's a zombie or not. I feel like they might be a wolf. They might be somebody that's pandering to it for money. I think she does a lot of, what is it? Like stuff around fitness and stuff. So I don't know if it's just for that. Like it might just be too grift. But she still says a lot of E-father talking points that we needed to get into. And she might be a zombie, let's be real. She might be a runner. Maybe I will. I'm going to claim her. I'm going to claim her as a runner. And this Diet Culture Vampire doesn't play with runners. Okay. Diet Culture Vampirism is harsh. Diet Culture Vampirism is mean. Diet Culture Vampirism lives off of cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, calorie-free sodas, and no, I'm just and lots of eggs. I have a lot of eggs. I probably have the eggs for the choline or whatever. I am not doing this shit hungry. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, but I'm still turning into a Diet Culture Vampire. I still have moments where I'm like watching reels on Instagram and it's like weird food shit and I like want to see it. I picked up a box of Peeps today at the store. Actually, I picked up 4. I was like getting an assortment and I was like, oh my God. And I put them down. I put it down. I left the store. Diet Culture won. Another day that Diet Culture won. So, yeah, it really does come down to self-control. I know that people hate that. They really hate it, but it is true. Especially out of Vanity era, because you're healthy, so you don't have like these physical health issues that make it harder. So it's all you. What did I say in my Lana era? You're the master of your own fate, you know. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Actually, I never started. Let's listen to this.
You're just not going to be skinny, ever. It's really just highly unlikely that that will ever happen. It's really not natural for most people. The people that are skinny, it's usually just how they are, and it's not very hard for them. And if they are working really hard at it, that's probably unhealthy behavior, and they're probably not very happy. I talk to so many clients who have so much guilt about eating a cookie, skipping a workout, as though this is the one thing that's keeping them from being skinny. It's not. It's just a cookie that you ate and a workout that you didn't do. The bigger picture of your life really tells the story of how you support yourself and what your values are when it comes to you. Each individual little moment is not where I win or lose, fail or succeed. It's really, really unlikely that your body is ever going to look drastically different than it does today. So how would your behaviors change if you accepted that? You're just not going to be skinny.
All right. I don't know. That was kind of zombified, just the way that she read that. This is the most lifeless script. But again, because she is so lifeless, I wonder if it is just a pure grift for her. She might not even believe it. So, I mean, but she's a little, you know, maybe she's more on the thicker side. So I think she just, my view of her, which take it for what it is, it's through a Diet Culture vampiristic lens, is just that she probably wishes she was skinnier and she just doesn't want to do the effort. So she just says that people who are snatched or whatever, they're just DIS ordered. You know, they're doing something unhealthy to get there because it makes her feel better about what she's not doing, basically. Which to me, it's like, I don't believe in moralizing vanity weight specifically. So I'm talking about like, there's a difference between Like when I talk about it on my channel, when I talk about a vanity era, I'm talking about vanity weight. I'm not talking about vanity period. I'm talking about the weight aspect because weight is a choice. I don't give a fuck who that pisses off. And we can make that choice based upon how we want to look, especially if it's within a healthy range, because we are the masters of our own fate. Period. And don't listen to zombies that are, oh, no, that's only just for you. That's only this. I love it when zombies say shit like that because it's like, I literally have heard every zombie say the exact same thing. Like, I want y'all to know that we've heard it all 50,000 times. At least I have. Like doing this online, I've heard it so many times. And I've heard it through so many different like fat activists and zombies and all this crap. It's not original. What you're thinking of saying isn't original. And it's nothing that hasn't been debunked. It's nothing that I didn't used to believe. So, I mean, there's power in letting go of self-limiting belief. But that's a part of like E fall by letter D recovery. I'm talking to Gen Pop specifically. When we're talking vanity weight, we're typically not talking about people that are E fall by letter D because I just don't think it's that relevant. I think you have to be kind of normal to like have to consider this or how you're going to do it or whatever. Because if you're doing it like super unhealthy, that's TR. That's E fall by letter D. You're probably, losing. I'll put it to you that way. Obviously, it's super unhealthy and it's horrible, and you probably don't even look good, especially if you get out of a certain range, then you really don't. So, but there's a little bit of like a delulu, and then there's reinforcement on that side. But same thing if you are just not treating yourself well, period. So if you have the other ones, it's not really working, and I think that a lot of people's perception of vanity weight, it is clouded by E fall by letter D. I think people that are zombies can't see it clearly. There's a difference between a zombie and a vampire. There's a difference. And for those most people that can see it clearly, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of discipline to reach a vanity weight goal. And that's why I don't really judge if somebody doesn't, because it's a lot of work. And a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but it does cost more. Usually because to have any kind of satisfaction in life, I know that sounds really dramatic, but I just have to be real. I'm going to be real with you. To have any kind of satisfaction in life, you're going to have to pay a lot of money. Like if you want to buy Zevias or something, it costs a lot. Soda costs a lot. Diet soda costs a lot. And you're paying for air. So that's money, and there's a lot of stuff that costs more because it's marketed for diet culture reasons. So it does cost, which is why I will always advocate to not live in it forever, because it is a waste of money, period. And just be one and doneing it, because I don't see the point in doing this over and over again. I think when people have an obsession with doing a vanity weight era like 20,000 times, it's either one, they're lazy as hell. Sorry, I have to just say it. Like, you're trying something and you're just lazy. You're too lazy to succeed. So that's the first reason. Two, they might have some kind of a TR issue, or it might be subclinical or something. Like, if you're that obsessed with the process of doing it and gaining and doing it and gaining like over and over again, I would consider that to be a little bit of like a subclinical issue. You're on your way to zombieism because it doesn't make sense. It costs a lot. It's kind of stupid. Now, obviously, there are reasons that people put on weight that are actually valid. Like, for example, pregnancy. That's a really valid one, especially within a vanity range. Yeah, sometimes things can happen, and I don't know, maybe you can't get to the gym for a long period of time. Like, one time, my best friend Eric, which he's been on the channel sometimes, that's why I mention him by name, but he broke his ankle. So, or he either broke it or he severely sprained it, so he couldn't go to the gym. So like if something like that happens, it's excusable. It makes sense. There's a reason. to the madness. I'm talking about like if you're just flopping. So it's like you need to get a grip. This is my take as a vampire that just ate cottage cheese today, and I really think that the life's blood of a diet culture vampire is cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese specifically. As a diet culture vampire, I will say this. If you are struggling that much, you dead ass might be too lazy. Period. Like you might be too floppy to actually do it. You might need to work on discipline in other areas of life before you can do it. I don't think it's good to just do this 50 bajillion times. It's kind of stupid. I'm not one of those people that's like, it's better for your health to try and da-da-da. No, it's not. Not in Vanity. It's not. It's just like a waste of time. So be serious about it or don't do it. And then if you're not going to do it, then shut up about it. That's my point. Because those of us that are doing it, we get so pissed. I get so pissed when I hear somebody talk about it and they're like not serious. And I also get equally pissed when people are terrible and they give horrible advice or they're super demotivating. Can't stand it. So I want to say like, shout out to Honey Bison. Honey Bison is great for a Vanity era. And then I watched a lot of Whitney in Vanity eras. She's very good too. So sometimes you just need like, when you're in this phase, sometimes you need a coldly logical approach. Not that to say that they're cold, but they're just very logical. They're very logical women. Sometimes you need that approach to just be like, okay, I need this. They're both like positive, motivating, empowering. Like you can do this. That's what you need to hear. And all this stuff, what these people say, they want to disempower you. And I think that they do it. And this is something that happens even in the general population. It's not even just zombies, but they'll do it because they can't or they don't want to. And I mean can't as in they don't have the discipline to do it. So it like, and by that I mean literally like the skill, because it takes a certain skill set. Like you have to be kind of organized. You know, doing it in this new era that I've been doing, you have to be flexible and organized at the same time. That's like, whoa, that's high level shit. You know, it's kind of tough. But, or you have to be super rigid to get it done. And they just automatically say that that's a DIS order and it's not. So it can be, but so can eating a lot, you know? So can exercising a lot, right? So it's like the behavior in and of itself is not DIS ordered. It's when it's taken to an extreme ritual that requires constant self-gaslighting and social reinforcement from other zombies. That's where we've reached a weird point, you know, and it can. But I think that people, when they're pursuing a vanity weight era, there is such a quickness to project an issue onto a person that is within that journey. Whereas if somebody's gaining, there's such a reticence to say that that person may have an issue. It's completely imbalanced. And I don't think that we should just be like accusing people all the time of having one. I don't think that that's great. I think you need to have evidence. Like I said, even with her specifically, I'm not sure. I don't think she is. I don't think she's in it. Why? Because of the emotion behind this. It's read like a script, like she doesn't give a fuck about it. So I don't think that she has a problem. I think that she's just kind of lazy. And that would probably really sting if she heard me say that. But at the same time, like she's probably at a relatively healthy weight or close to it. You know, I can show you. She's a little thick. But she's probably not like gonna die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? She might be kind of mid-sized. She might need to tighten it up a little bit for health purposes, but you don't have to be like super snatched or skinny to be healthy. You don't. So I think that that's really important too. But if you have aesthetic goals, there's literally nothing wrong with that. You just need to keep it within limits and within a certain range. And then you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself throughout. So anyways, with that long ass fuck diatribe, let's go ahead and get into this piece by piece.
Ever.
So that's not true. So there are a lot of people who become skinny that used to be fat. So who are you to say that somebody's not going to? There's also a lot of skinny people that end up becoming fat too. This is a mutable characteristic. This is not immutable. So you sound really, really dumb when you say that. I think that we should normalize telling people who say this that they're incredibly stupid. I think if somebody says this to you, maybe you should say, that's a really bad take. That's really dumb. You know, I think because they say it with this, like, I'm so right attitude. And it's like, you're actually totally wrong, though. Like, you're completely wrong. Like, it's literally on the same level as saying, the sky is red. It's like, it isn't. You're actually wrong. So that's not true. Now, when it comes to this stuff, especially within Vanity, what you believe is what you will get. You have to believe that you can. There's a lot of that kind of stuff in it because if you have mental blocks, when you're not overweight and you're trying to downsize and you have mental blocks, they will absolutely kill it. It will kill the journey for you. Absolutely. So you want to make sure, basically, you want to make sure that one, you don't have mental blocks, but two, you don't have emotional suppression. So those two things are really like they're really important. So if you are not comfortable emotionally, you need to feel those emotions. So that one, you will appreciate the sacrifice that you're making in this journey and you won't just throw it in the trash like so many people do. And two, you won't ignore if you're not feeling well and if you need to stop. So if for whatever reason I'm just not feeling this, I will start reverse dieting early. I'm planning on reverse dieting April 16th, I believe is the first day. I think I'm going to make it. It's fine. But if you guys remember last autumn, I was trying to make it to November 1st. I had to start October 23rd. So I started reverse dieting a week early because it was too much. So don't suppress how you feel and always keep a mind-body connection very strong. Because if you need to stop, you need to fucking stop. Because as I told you, I'm going to slap you. So I will slap you that way as well. Because it's not that big of a deal. And this isn't life or death. Like, it's different when you're downsizing from a very bad health like place. But if it's vanity, it is not life or death. And you need to calm the fuck down. Seriously. So, anyways. All right, let's continue.
It's really just highly unlikely that that will ever happen.
Based on what? Says who? Like, what gives you the right to tell an individual person that? What gives you the right?
It's really not natural for most people.
What does natural mean? This is where we get into some of the E fall by letter D logic. So we get into weight is genetic, which again can be used to run cover for both bingo or binge as well as the reductive and anything in between. This is just how I naturally am, said every zombie ever. Why? Because it's a lie. Because it gets somebody off your back and it helps you keep it a secret. So when you say things like that, you are encouraging this. Like I said, I don't even know if she's a zombie. I don't even know if she believes it. I think she might be saying it for money, but that's horrible. I'm just going to say it. I think that's really awful. I think that's a complete lack of integrity. I think she might be a wolf, you guys. It's for the money. Period.
The people that are skinny, it's usually just how they are, and it's not very hard for them. And if
Okay, so we're running cover. She might be a runner. She's right on the line. It's hard to tell sometimes. I do think there is a financial component for runners too, but she's running cover for all sides of the E fall by letter D world. She is. that's an enabling statement.
If they are working really hard at it, that's probably unhealthy behavior, and they're
See how
probably
she
not.
try see how she tries though to she tries to fix that by then, well, I'm going to discourage the reductive side, but that doesn't work because you're still encouraging the reductive side because you're telling people that they're naturally going to gain weight like crazy. And when you say that to somebody, as I've learned, I've had a lot of you guys comment, and I could totally see it, obviously from a zombified logic, an ED zombie logic moment, but when you tell people that they're inevitably going to gain weight or you tell people that they're just going to become fat, then it reinforces the idea that somebody in the reductive has to do what they're doing. So if this is natural, then that means I must do something unnatural, to which I tell you, fuck no, that isn't true. You don't get that excuse from me. Hell fucking no. How about a hell no? Because it's bullshit. We are the masters of our own fate. That is why you went to this in the first place. That is why people in the TR, aka the toxic ritualistic, aka E fall by letter D, that is why they go into it, because you have control over it. Control. It's the biggest factor within the issue. It's the basis. So just stop. They're probably not very happy. I don't think a lot of fat people are happy either. That's a really stupid argument. That's a really dumb thing to say. It's really, 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 really dumb on a lot of levels. And again, I want people to say that sometimes, at least maybe online. I don't know. People don't usually have conversations like this in person, but if they do, I don't know how I would handle it. I'm not always the nicest, so I told you with some of this stuff, I start laughing and I'm kind of reactive. So I am introverted, so I can usually be quiet, but if I can't, then I might laugh at somebody. If they were saying shit like this, I might actually laugh in their face because I can't help it because it's so stupid.
Very happy. I talk to so many clients who have so much guilt about eating a cookie.
So I don't know if that is exaggerated a lot of the time. I really don't. That sounds like binge lying.
Skipping a workout as though this is the one thing that's keeping them from being skinny.
Okay, this is really weird for her to say this because I've been in the issue really bad and I've known so many people in the issue, and I feel like this is why I also don't believe her. I feel like that's not a common thing within the issue. Like, you're usually thinking about things. It's kind of paradoxical, but you're thinking about things really big picture a lot. And a lot of times you'll make like these really, really long goals, like months in advance. But then you'll also like lose all perspective at the same time, which is why it is a DIS order. Like, it's not logical. So it's like you lose all perspective. So it's like within bingo specifically, it's never, oh my gosh, this one cookie, I guess I can't, I feel so guilty over it. You don't usually feel that way. It's more so, I had one cookie, I guess, what the hell? I guess I'll just go for it. Because now that I had this cookie, I feel a little anxious. And so now I want to just go for it. But it's kind of like you almost do it just so that you can have that what the hell effect. It's like you almost do something just for an excuse to do it, you know? Because it's not really about that. And then it's like, okay, well, I have to get back on track now and blah, 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 blah. But then you never do. Now, I'm not trying to be super shady, but if you want to see an example of this, look at Jasmine Flowers. She's an example. That's what a relapse looks like. Okay. She keeps talking about it. Oh my gosh, I did so much over this time. Oh my gosh, I did so much over this time. I got to get back on it though. Got to get back on it. Okay, I'm going to try to maintain. And then she's still not. But you see, it's like that. It's not about one cookie. Like, to me, that sounds so dumb. Maybe that would apply to like Mia. I don't know. I don't know. I guess my perception of the reductive is that like they wouldn't need it. They wouldn't have it. But as an ex bingo person, honey, it was never about one cookie. It was never about one workout. It was never about one anything. It was about the whole picture. And I do think like there could be anxiety. I could certainly see on the reductive side if that control was taken away, or you didn't consider my workout. You didn't consider my workout schedule. What the fuck? I could see that. But that's more like an anxiety/anger response that has to do again with the control. I don't see it as like guilt. So I'm like, who is she talking to? Is she talking to like a basic person? Because I do think like in the general public, maybe sometimes they could feel that way. But like I said, if you're lazy, you're lazy. If you don't want it, then stop saying you want it. If you don't want to be snatched, then just say, I don't care about being snatched. Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with not wanting to be, you know? So if that's who she's talking to, just like basic people, okay. But why are you conflating this with E followed by the letter D then? It's bizarre. And then you're saying that that's the only way people are skinny. That's bizarre. It's really reinforcing, really weird. And like I said, it sounds like she doesn't understand it, or she's never had it. So I'm just so weirded out by her. But I might have to call her a runner for that. Because that was very like, she's at least running for the reductive.
It's not. It's just a cookie that you ate and a workout that you didn't do. The bigger picture of your life really tells the story of how you support yourself and what your values are when it comes to you. Each individual.
Okay. I mean, she's really going all over the place.
Individual little moment is not where I win or lose, fail or succeed. It's really, really unlikely that your body's ever going to look drastically different than it does today.
So that's a joke. Now, this is where it's bizarre because so many would say you're inevitably going to upsize. So many would say so would you say that to me then, as somebody who's lost like 160? Would you say that my body is never going to drastically change from this point? Like, when does that kick in? Is there like a magic, like, we jump into the circle of salt and then that's the one? Or what? Or if the salt circle breaks, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put all the weight back on, or I'm going to be able to get snatched if I get out of the salt circle. Like, what is this shit? What is she saying? Like, and I think it's so bizarre how there's so many zombies that were like so about this. And I'm just like, it's obviously just a pandering thing to me. But I don't know. I might have to give her zombie with the way she read it. She doesn't seem alive.
So how would your behaviors change if you accepted that?
Yeah, let's read the caption. Let's do that. Oops. Gosh, I'm flopping. Okay. Let's move me. Shame, disgust. Let me see. Guilt, shame, disgust. Okay, so those are TR emotions. Today, I had a lovely conversation about cookies with a client in the Nourish Yourself program. Whatever. This client was struggling with having a bunch of wonderful cookies. Okay. It's a different discussion, sweetie. She received as a gift this week. She wants to eat okay, but she's not supposed to, right? Cookies are bad. Another client told me she went to a new bakery for breakfast with a friend and she felt concerned, guilty that she had mainly eaten carbs that day. Who cares? Like, literally, who cares? Who are we being watched by? This is patriarchy and misogyny internalized. You're supposed to have a delicious cookies that someone gave you. You're allowed to buy cookies, make cookies, win cookies in a lottery. You're allowed cookies. Okay. I mean, when it comes to this stuff, like, I think it's just really easy. It's like, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? Where are you at? That's what I would tell somebody. If they tell me I'm struggling with bingo and I don't like that I was gifted this because this is like something that I don't know if I could handle right now, then I would say to just give it away. If it's somebody who's normal and who is just like on a vanity weight journey and they're like, I really want one, but I don't know, I'd just be like, just track it. And they'd say, well, what if I don't know the exact amount? I'd be like, just do your best. Make an honest estimate and it'll be okay. And if you're just maintaining, then it just seems pretty normal. It's like maybe have one in a day or half of one or something. You know? It's pretty easy. It really is pretty easy. I think for me, I typically wouldn't have had something like that because I was dealing with hypothyroidism and it's usually not great. I also had to be gluten-free because of my hypothyroidism, which I haven't had gluten yet. But I've had like little tiny bits of it at times and I've been okay. So I might be okay now. I don't know. But I'll figure that out later. I don't want to figure that out now. I just don't care to. I've been not eating bread for so many years. It's like not a big deal to me. But I'll probably try it at some point again just to see what happens because I don't think I'm hypo anymore. So basically the point is I wouldn't have had the cookies when I was deep in bingo because or at least like in my recovery, because it wouldn't have been good for my thyroid. Like I had to put my health first. I think like earlier on when I was in bingo, I would have just had them. Maybe I would have said, oh, I don't know. I don't know about this. Da, da, da. And then I would have just ate them anyway. So, I mean, if she's dealing with a lot of people like that, then it's like, it's just performative. So it's like all a bunch of bullshit anyways. So she's just saying, who cares? Why are you talking about it? Why are you talking about it? Because they're trying to lie about what they're doing. That's why. It's a way to lie. Like, don't be dumb. Please. Like, again, I would expect her to do better than your average Gen Pop person if she's working with people. It's like, put the dots together. They're lying to you. But anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me see. I want to do a little bit more about diet culture as I'm dressed like this. So one second. Okay, this person is really not that popular, but they're a E followed by letter D counselor. I'm going to cover up that word. So, diet culture is a blank. It breaks you down until you believe you're the problem. And like any horrible relationship, you don't escape it by trying harder to please it. You break free by waking up to how toxic it is and dumping its ass. Okay, so let's talk about this as a diet culture vampire. So, rules for engagement with diet culture. Understand, 1, it is fucking corny. 2, it's a lot of cottage cheese. 3, understand that you are the one choosing. You're the one in control. Diet culture is not a person. Diet culture is not a demonic spirit. Maybe within the E fall by letter D freaking folklore, it's a demonic spirit that possesses you. But in reality, it's something that you're choosing to engage with. What is diet culture? Diet culture is just simply foods that have to do with reducing calories within the food or like a different version of it, or increasing protein for less calories, or uh, like sugar free soda, stuff like that. And to me, that's diet culture. It sometimes focuses on macros. So for certain people, they'll be like, I do better with less carb. I do better with less fat. Again, me and Robin are good examples of that. She does better with less carb. I do better with less fat, especially for me within a vanity era. I do have fat though, Robin. Don't worry, I do. Less doesn't mean none. um, but oftentimes, like when I'm in a vanity era, like I am now, or when I'm doing this in a deficit, I need a lot of protein. So diet culture for me is like, I want to eat Peeps today, but that's probably going to make me hungry. So I'm going to have eggs instead. That's diet culture. See? So is that a bad thing? No. Is it irritating? Yeah. It's irritating. Is it frustrating? Yes. Um, is it boring? Yes, it is. Is it fun? No. So that's where I depart from a lot of people that engage in diet culture, because they try to be like, it's so much fun. I love it. It's amazing. It's not. Like, I will be honest with you. It isn't. It's, I hate it. I really do sometimes. I do. But they will say, well, you hating this and still doing it, that's like E followed by letter D. And I'd say, no, that's discipline. Why? Because my body's fine. I'm getting nutrition. It's not perfectly balanced, but it will be over soon enough. And then anything that I need to restore, I can. So it's all calculated, especially within reverse dieting. I think you need to focus a lot on nutrition, but I'm very nutrition focused, and I'll make sure to eat a lot of high iron foods when I'm in maintenance for a couple months, and then I'm going to finish it out. And then there is an end too. You know, I have one more cycle that I'm going to do, and it's like, but I'm in control the whole time. I'm the master of my own fate. You need to carry that with you. You can stop if you need to stop. And if you want to do it, you can do it. You see? It's not like a blood oath contract that you're signing a deal with the devil, which is what they act like. It's not like that. I told you, if something happens and I'm just like, gosh, like I'm just too tired, or, ooh, gosh, I'm so this or so that, then I might start reverse dieting sooner. But if not, then I'm going to just finish the journey. I think it's fine to stop earlier if you need to, but don't go longer. I'm going to slap you. That's one of those I'm going to slap you in the face. Please have a date. I think it keeps things realistic if you have a date and you just like, you need to like get out of it too. Get out of a deficit and live life out of it. And then you can like figure out what you want to do and stuff. But that's just my advice. So it's like, have control over it. You control diet culture. It doesn't control you. Thank you. But no, like Melina and Angelica telling people to have diet drinks or sugar-free or calorie-free sodas with the video, it doesn't matter. That's not toxic. That's, I'm trying to encourage you on a downsizing journey. That's what that is. You know, me talking about my struggle of not having Peeps, it's relatable to people that have goals. So I'm going to talk about it. That's not DIS ordered. That's just me bitching out because it's irritating as fuck. And I literally grabbed the box. I was at Five Below. I grabbed the boxes. They had these little boxes. I got like my 4 favorite flavors. I love the sour watermelon. I love the birthday cake one. Oh gosh, what's the other ones? I wanted to try the strawberry Pop Tart one, and I love the cotton candy ones. It's like I love all those, and I literally stocked them up. But I was like, I don't know if I can handle having this before the day of Easter. Like even me, and I'm pretty fucking like strong with willpower and shit like that. And even I'm like, I don't know. There's something about Peeps, but it's not. I think what people don't understand is it's not just the Peeps. They, it's like the experience. I don't know how to describe it. It's a whole thing. Because why is it that if it was a bag of marshmallows, I wouldn't give a fuck? But if it's Peeps, it's like emotional. It's very emotional. And it's like emotions. While I don't think they should be suppressed, it's not life or death if you say no to an emotion. And I think we need to stop. Because I think a lot of times you certainly have to say no to anxiety in E, followed by the letter D, recovery. But there's a difference between saying no to an emotion and suppression. I let myself feel it. I talk about it even, but it's relatable because people are like, I have goals. I want to get this done, but damn, it is a bitch sometimes. Yeah. And that's okay. Sometimes doing hard things is okay. Most of the time it is, to be honest. It's where the growth happens. When we challenge ourselves, that's where we develop ourselves. And for me, emotional discipline, it's hard. It's hard for me. So dealing with that and really holding out on the Peeps till Easter or whatever, it's very much an exercise in emotional control for me, which I think that's the bigger lesson for me specifically. That's very individual. But it's like you do, through that controlled stress of a vanity journey, you find some of the cracks in your armor. You find some of those things that you need to work on. And for me, it's the emotional control and patience and things like that. Still, I'm not as bad as when I was in MSP. That was like to a whole other level. I'm not that impatient, but I think for me, it's just that emotional aspect. And it's healing. It's good. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's good for you to challenge yourself, you know? But I do believe, and where I might agree with them, I don't know if they actually believe this, but is that come to it from a place of self love, come to it from a place of self development. And I think that that's good. And what I do appreciate about Vanity 2.0 is it's less about like, this is just hard, just fucking deal with it. And it's more about looking towards that optimism, the optimistic side of it too. Look at what I can achieve. Look at what I have achieved. Look at how well I'm doing. And look at that, the fact that I'm doing this, I'm challenging myself. And it's not just about the weight, it's like about, like I said, the emotional control. I am handling it. That gives me confidence, that gives me strength. And it's like, that's what it should be for, too. I think vanity, it really is two sides of the coin. I really like what I've done on the channel with like Vanity 1.0 or the Lana era versus the Kesha era. They're kind of like two sides of the same coin. And it's like you have to find that where you fit in or with your current life circumstances and goals. It's more of a spectrum between the two. But I like really experiencing the Lana era in the autumn of last year and summer, and then now the Kesha era, and like going from one extreme to the other in the sense of like the super locked in introverted version and the locked out extroverted version, because I feel like I can see both sides. I can see why people talked about it optimistically now. I didn't get that before. I was like, last year. Now I'm like, no, this is good. You see, so It's what you make of it. Vanity weight is what you make of it. And it's a choice. It's not a moral decision, in my opinion. You're not a better or worse person because you weigh a certain vanity weight or not. But you can become a better person on the journey as you reach your goal because the discipline and the challenge of it does teach you a lot about yourself. And I mean this from a non DIS ordered place. So it's like, it's interesting, but don't waste your effort and don't wait cycle, please. Unless if there's like a legit reason, like an injury or like a pregnancy or something, that's totally valid. But anyways, I'm done. I hope this helped. Hope that helps. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.